What's up, folks? I am joined by Matthew DeSantis. We are going to recap Season 5 of the Tour de Force. Round 1 is in the books. The Lecomte Stakes just happened this past weekend, and we're going in for another round this coming weekend. Matthew, what's up, man? Let's talk about what happened this weekend.
Yeah, no, it's doing well, and I'm glad that I just was on the positive side of the ROI rather than in the red numbers. I was in the green numbers, but we're going to look at some people who did really, really well this week to see how they did in the round 1 of many rounds to come of the Season 5 Tour de Force.
Yep, we got 25 rounds to cover here. This is just round 1. Here's your top 15. I was going to highlight the top 12 based on the fact that the top 12 are who are going to be paid out money out of the 121, I believe, entries. But since there was a tie for 12th, 11 through 15, you see all scored $230 return here on round 1, which was the Lecomte. And again, it's 25 rounds. This is all the Derby preps leading up through the Triple Crown, including the Belmont Stakes is the last round. That's round 25. So taking a look here, let's give a little credit where it's due. We're going to do this each week. We'll do a quick recap. In 15th spot, again tied 11 through 15, Jeffrey Brandis, Malathot 74, Mets Bets, Rebob, and the Real S Cav or SC Cav, however you want to go about that, all scoring $230 on their return here. First of all, what were you surprised at the Lecomte results at all, Matt?
I was not. I mean, if you watch Capping the Card, I picked Instant Coffee as my top pick. I thought that was kind of the most obvious choice. I just thought the race set up really well for him. Obviously, all of these bets that you're seeing cashed included Instant Coffee up top, some combination of horses in some cases underneath in terms of an exacta, maybe straight win bets, etc. So I was not that surprised. It was kind of a chalky result. Even the top 2 with 2 fills coming in second was kind of the third choice on the board behind Echo again. So I think a lot of people identified the proper horses up top and as a result did rather well with the $100 allotted to them in terms of what they could bet on in the Lecomte.
All right, so we see this tie for 11 through 15th again. The way these guys scored this was with a straight Instant Coffee to win, 7 for the full $100 to win on Instant Coffee, paid the $230 on that return. So basically betting the favorite to win in this case gets you into the money here. Nice little payback on Instant Coffee. A lot of people liked him as the favorite. I personally did not. So I thought that race was a little more balanced, although I wasn't surprised by Instant Coffee winning. But I guess, took a stab at some bigger prices, which it is what it is, right?
Yeah, and I think one of the things to look at with all these top performers, if you will, all these top bettors this first week, is they all went hard in on an angle. You know, whether it was a straight $100 win bet, whether some of the top guys are going straight in on a $100 exacta, etc. I think one of the things I learned, I'm a little bit further down on this list. I think I turned like a 136. I think, I turned 100 into 136, which was fine. But I kind of hedged my bets. I did kind of an exacta key box and it ended up costing me $6. So I could only play a $15 exacta. And so as a result, I ended up making money, but probably not as much money as I should have made. It should have been a smarter bet, should have kind of gone all in with my opinion. And even if I just made that a straight exacta key, would have been a lot more advantageous. So I think what you see here, people who had a strong opinion really went all in on that opinion.
All right, in 10th position, we have Mind Crime, who actually scored a $50 exacta box or $25 exacta box.
Nice.
210, and then he had $25 left over that was not spent, and that was how you get to the 235. So he's got that $5 advantage over the rest of them tied 11 through 15. Into the top 9, we have celebrity guest in the Cocktail Lounge, been on the show a bunch. Also a past champion in the Tour de Force. Crime Pace 503, and how he scored this was a $30 exacta, 7 with the 128, which scored him 252. Plus he had the $10 left over. So again, if you don't spend your whole $100 bet, you get the little bit of change back, and sometimes that's the difference. We don't really popular strategy does not say to save a whole lot of those pennies back, but in these cases early on, it's a tiebreaker. So Crime Pays 503, a legend in the Tour de Force. Next up, we had the Doc, number 8, 8th place, and how he scored this was a trifecta. He had a trifecta wheel, $8 trifecta wheel, which was a $96 spend, and that paid back $272. Plus, he had the $4 left over, $276. So, Matthew, I'm curious because I bet I actually have 2 entries in this tournament. I played it 2 different ways. I played an exacta box with one of them, and I played a straight win place on a horse that didn't get there.
Yeah.
What was your strategy going into round 1?
Yeah, it's a good question. So, it was really impacted by my thought on this field, and I had a tough time getting around instant coffee, and I didn't, but I also agreed with you that it was a rather even race. And so I kind of wanted to hedge my bets because I was like, instant coffee is going to get bet really far down. I was actually surprised he didn't get bet down more. And if I had known what he was going to go off at, I probably just would have done a straight $100 win bet on him. But I was kind of trying to find a way to take chalk and make it a little bit more valuable while still hedging my bets a little bit. So I think, this is my first year doing it. So I definitely learned something just this first week in terms of like looking forward to next week in the Southwest Stakes, like how I'm going to necessarily approach betting in that one.
Yeah, exactly. I thought the same exact thing. If I knew instant coffee was going to go off at bigger than 1-to-1 odds, which I didn't expect him to,
right?
I probably would have bet. I might have played that more conservative and done what the 11 through 15 on the board here did as well, which was a smart play. But I put my bets in early because I knew I'd be busy leading up to the race time. I wanted to make sure I was in. Didn't pay off, and I was pretty surprised that instant coffee went off at that price.
Yeah.
So moving up here, who's number 3 through 7 on the chart, also all tied at 420, and you'll see as the year progresses and as we get through more rounds, these ties are not going to be. There's not going to be a lot of ties. You're going to have people are going to be scoring all over the place, but right now 3 through 7 all hit for 420. And that was a straight up $50 exacta box with the 7 and the 8.
Yep.
All of these players had that paid out 420, straight easy bet. All you had to do was have the right 2 horse combination, and they came in for you for 420. And if you hit that one, you are sitting 3 through 7, all tied. Great start for everybody here.
And that's the bet I should have made. Because I thought the race set up perfectly for closers because I knew there was going to be a lot of front end speed and 2 fills and instant coffee. You just took perfect advantage of that, and we're the clear class of the race.
What really screwed me up is I love the 5 horse that ended up scratching out.
Oh yeah,
and then I'm sitting there going, man, I could not, because I was so dead set on I'm betting this 5 horse that my brain was kind of scrambled.
That happens, man.
Round 1, I salvaged, I think I got a $50 payback on one of my entries, so not a total loss. But moving on, number 2, part of the Trust of Profits family, the formula, scores $544, and how he did that was a $16 trifecta box with just the top 3 horses. 378, I want to say the numbers were. I can't.
478.
478. Thank you. It was a $17 payback times a $16 bet. So 544 was the return. Good enough for second. And taking the early lead, folks, racing to Boca Toga. I'm guessing that's how you say this. A new legend is born. He's a first-time player in the game. Scores at $840, and all he bet was a straight $100 exacta.
Love it.
Instant coffee over two fills. Bada boom, bada bing. It's that easy. I mean, for real, that's how it's made in these tournaments. Jumps out to a huge advantage early in round 1. Got almost a double the field lead here. So nice work racing to Boca Toga. And by the way, comes with a $25 bonus for being the top scorer for round 1. So we already paid half his entry fee off right away with just that. So let's take a look.
By keeping it simple, stupid, as they say.
Yeah.
Just don't overthink it, man.
Yeah, you got people putting in 75 different horse wheels going into Superfecta and everything else, which I'm guilty of at times myself.
Same here.
So if you're new to the tour or not sure exactly what we're talking about here, here's the tournament schedule, and we're just covering about the first half of the schedule here. Lecomte was this past weekend. This coming weekend is the Southwest Stakes at Oaklawn Park. February 4th is a big weekend. Three big events. The Holy Bull, Robert B. Lewis, Withers. And from there, it gets deeper and deeper into the Derby prep race season. And all 25 rounds go on, like I said, up until the Triple Crown. The Belmont is the 25th round. And I mean, you've seen from round one, out of 120 entries, you saw a little bit of separation for those top 10 to 15 guys. But look, it's a long tour. That's why it's called the Tour de Force. It's a long way. One round is one thing. Getting through it's another. And here's the payouts down the middle there. You see top prize is $1,200, guys. This is no joke for payouts here. And all the way down to 12th place, you get double your entry fee. It was a $50 buy-in. So Matthew, what's your take coming up on the Southwest and going forward? Because I know there's 24 rounds we have left to make up some ground. Yep. What are your thoughts after round one, and what's your do you think your strategy's changed now that you've seen a little bit, or no?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, you go to the Southwest and overwhelming favorite in this race, even money, morning line favorite, Arabian Night, broke his maiden at Keeneland on the Breeders' Cup undercard, coming back. And this is the kind of the first race back for Bob Baffert. This is, but we should say Bob Baffert won this race last year with Newgate at the Southwest Stakes. So it's one of those things where it's like, do you try to get around chalk? And then who do you like? And, Jace's Road is an interesting horse. Red Route 1 is an interesting horse. There's some value in there. Red Route 1's 10-1 on the morning line. Jace's Road is 4-1 for Brad Cox. Corona Bolt, who's a horse I really like at sprinting, but is stretching out, 6-1. So we'll see. There's a few ways to play it, but I think you have such an overwhelmingly heavy favorite in Arabian Night. It's going to be interesting to see how people approach that. Do they just do what someone like Nate Betts, Mets Betts and some of those guys did, just do a straight win bet on the favorite? Or do you try to get a little bit more creative and go, okay, I think Arabian Night wins, but how do I add more value to this ticket? Maybe try to add some sequences underneath and play vertically.
Yeah, you'll see throughout the tournament, you see somebody hit something for a couple $1,000s on it, like a straight trifecta bet or maybe a straight exacta, like we just saw there for 844, whatever the payout was. But yeah, sometimes being correct on the winner through 25 rounds, if you can make like you saw with instant coffee, where you get back 230 or whatever the payout was, if you can do that consistently throughout the tournament, you will be in the money in the end. But there's also that maybe you airball it 20 times, but 5, even 2 or 3 of the times you hit for one of the big straight trifecta bets or whatever. There's a lot of different strategies, especially with 121 people in this thing. Going to be fun. We'll try to recap this at least once every couple weeks, see where everybody's at. But we wanted to throw this one down there and congratulate the top winners here for week 1. And let us know in the comments if there's anything else, any questions or comments about the tournament. Always trying to make it a little bit better each season and hopefully get it a little bigger. Matt, thanks for joining me, man. We will recap this again, like I said, every week or two, and try to keep everybody in touch and grow this thing, baby. Let's go Kentucky Derby season, right?
Absolutely.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for joining. Peace out.